If I could choose only one exercise per body part, what would it be? I'll tell you guys exactly that in this video. I've been training for over 13, 14 years, and honestly, most of my workouts, I would center them around 1 to 2 exercises where I'm giving all my attention to. Alright, the exercises that in my opinion give me the most bang for my buck, alright? And I'm trying to really be personalized and talking really about me, because as I get experience, I realize that we're not all the same, and some people would prefer doing, for example, an incline dumbbell press than a barbell bench press, but the movement patterns for most people stays the same. All right, I'll tell you guys what I feel works best for me, and also I want to mention that with years of training, I realized that a combination of higher reps, hypertrophy style training with strength style training works best for most natural lifters. All right, the strength aspect is not to be neglected, but also the hypertrophy aspect is not to be neglected. All right, doing only sets of 12 or 15 and not really going in that strength set will really impact you and will make you weaker eventually if you're a natural athlete. All right, and just doing strength training stuff, you are missing out on all the hypertrophy benefits that you can get from doing higher sets or higher volume. And also you want to make sure you're not overstressing your nervous system by using these methods. All right, so let's jump straight into it. If I could only choose one exercise per body part, let's start with legs. All right, quads, it would be a high barbell back squat. High barbell back squat for me, I might not feel it as well than all the other leg extension or leg press or single leg leg extension or all those stuff. But when I'm doing my barbell back squat, guys, the 2-3 days following that workout, my legs are extremely sore. I'm sore right now. I did a barbell back squat on Monday. Can you imagine? High bar. And I would typically go for a pyramid set. So I would start with lighter weight, go for sets of 20, 15, 12, 8, do a few sets of 6, 5, just getting that strength aspect in there. I never max out. And then I go back with higher reps. So I would spend 1 hour of my quads or leg session on that barbell back squat. But I would finish with a bit of leg extension and call it a day, all right? It's not as if I'll do much more afterwards. So the barbell high bar squat for me is the number one king exercise for the quads. Number 2, let's talk about hamstring. I know now the seated curl hamstring is a pretty common exercise, but I want to go with the stiff leg dumbbell deadlift, just because yes, I might feel the squeeze better with the seated hamstring curl, but I feel like doing the stiff leg dumbbell deadlift, all right, not going all the way up, pausing a little bit at the bottom, really getting into that hamstring, it just gives me better and greater results. All right, I remember when I used to go heavy deadlifts, I started doing powerlifting. I used to deadlift a lot, and when I used to deadlift and really deadlifting it off the floor, my hamstring were so much better than when I started really doing more competition style bodybuilding training and mostly machines. All right, and I used to never feel my hamstring, but that's where it tells you, if you're a natural lifter, don't always focus on what you feel. Yes, mind muscle connection and feeling is important, but it's not all. All right, also there is something to be said about pushing it on those big compound lifts, and for me the stiff leg dumbbell deadlift just give me great results. All right, moving on, let's talk about chest. All right, and for chest, I've been going back and forth with 2 exercises. One of them is the incline dumbbell press, the other one is the barbell bench press, and with time I'm starting to really enjoy more the incline dumbbell press. Yes, on the bench press I can push more weight, but I really love the incline dumbbell press aspect with a slight incline. So I would go for 15 to 30 degrees incline. It's really low. It's maybe the first or second pin. Don't go more than 30 degrees. You'll be hitting a lot more your shoulders and a lot more of that upper chest, shoulders, front delta. But when you go 15, 30 degrees, I really feel like with the dumbbells, I'm able to also work each arm on its own. I have a slight imbalance. Well, everybody has one, but I feel that I'm stronger with my right. And when I'm benching and I would look at my video benching, I would see the bar tilting a bit. And that's one thing I love about the dumbbell incline press, is that you're working each arm on its own and you're getting a better stretch. All right, I also try to squeeze at the top, but that's not the main focus. I really like going for that extra stretch that the barbell bench press is not giving me, I would go for sets of 12. The lowest I would go for would be 8. All right, and I would either start with that. Well, I always start my chest workouts with flies, with cable flies or machine pec deck, just to isolate them, activate that chest, turn it on. All right, pre-exhaustion, and then I would go on my presses. Also helps me not get injured. All right, you get some blood flow in that chest. You don't want to be that guy starting, you just got in a gym, you put your bag on the floor and you put 2 plates on the bench without even warming up or turning on that chest. You won't even feel anything going on in your chest. You will mostly feel your shoulders, and the risk of injury will be super high. So I like pre-exhaustion technique, and then moving on to my incline dumbbell press, or sometimes I would even start with the barbell bench press. But the main focus of my workouts most of these late times has been incline dumbbell press, slight incline. I will go for 5 sets, and I will pyramid the weight, but the lowest I would go would be sets of 8. All right, moving on, let's talk about back. Lats, back. I love the rows, but I have to give it to pull-ups. I have to give it to pull-ups, and not even weighted pull-ups, body weight pull-ups. You could do so much with just your body weight, and if you're at the point of adding added weight on, chances are you can do different techniques, like pausing at the bottom, pausing at the top, doing a bit more sets, doing less rest in between. The way you're performing your pull-ups, maybe going a little bit wider. I really like going body weight, and I'm not a big fan of adding weights on the pull-ups because not everybody do them correctly. All right, unless you're a strength freak, like let's say Alpha Destiny, Phil, those guys, they're super strong, so now they're able to add that plate on. But for me, even me, I really believe that doing my body weight pull-ups at my 170-pound body weight, I'm getting a lot in my lats. All right, and then would be the second one would be dumbbell bent over rows, both dumbbell at the same time. Guys, if you have never tried that exercise, it's super powerful. It's a very old school exercise, and lately it's been one of my top 2 exercises. I would actually superset dumbbell bent over rows with pull-ups, and that's most of my back workout. Moving on, let's talk about shoulders, and yes, it's the standing push, no, not push press, standing military strict press. Standing strict press with the bar. There's something humbling about this exercise, trust me. You can be pressing seated hundreds each single arm, hundreds pounds, but once you go on that standing military strict press with the barbell, you will get humbled super easily. And you might think that, yeah, I'm pushing less weight means I'm getting less results. It's false. You're gonna activate a lot more muscles, your core, your lower back, your stabilizers muscles, all your shoulder is activated. There's no support, nothing is supporting your back, and it is a powerful movement. Since I started reincorporating them, I started seeing my shoulder blowing up, and no side delts or seated machine press was doing the job for me. All right, and I think there's something to be said with naturals enjoying the old school compound lifts, and a lot of compound lifts where you have the core engaged, not seated ones but standing ones, like or bent over rows, those kind of stuff. All right, overhead barbell press, barbell back squats. I see a lot of naturals really now talking about it, and I feel like there is a correlation in between the compound lifts that we're doing unsupported and being a natural lifter. If you guys have an idea why, let me know in the comment. I believe it's the central nervous system impact, and also because it works many muscles at the same time, and also the strength aspect that those compound lifts give you. All right, moving on, let's talk about arms. It's hammer curl, dumbbell hammer curl, both arms at the same time. Not much to be said about arms. All right, you can do also a dumbbell biceps curl. I'm a big fan of free weight, as you're realizing. I don't like going on machines. I don't like doing preacher curl machine. I don't like doing those stuff. I don't like I'm not a big fan of it. It does feel good, but it doesn't give you as much results. That's just my opinion. That's just how I think. All right, I might be wrong, but I feel like that's what works best for me. Dumbbell both arms hammer curl. I see guys going on the craziest incline bench, putting the cable and then getting a crazy stretch and squeeze, and they are pushing to failure, but I don't see it translating to bigger arms. Triceps, that's the only place where I like going with the machine. I go for cable rope triceps push down, all right, really squeezing at the bottom. And why I don't do any compound or isolation or free weight exercise for triceps, just because my triceps are getting a ton of extra work from all the presses, the push-ups, the bench, the dips, the overhead press, all right? So there's no point really overly stimulating with the free weight, because then it will just put too much tension on my elbows. I actually feel that the row push down is beneficial for elbow health, because it really puts the elbow in a good position and drive that blood in there. All right, moving on. I think we've covered everything. Traps, oh yeah, traps. I love doing Smith machine traps, holding at the top and from the back. All right, I also like doing it with dumbbells and walking, kind of like a farmer walk, but Smith machine, doing it from the back and from the front, supersetting both of them. I go high reps for traps, 20 reps, sorry, pausing at the bottom, pausing at the top and at the bottom. Feels a good stretch, feels a good squeeze. A lot of people would put 100 pounds dumbbells and they will shrug it wrong. Make sure that you're contracting it. Make sure that you're taking your time, isolating your traps, pausing at the bottom and at the top, and you'll feel a good contraction for it. Calves, my calves are actually growing, and you know what? It's not because I'm overly changing anything in the calves, but I'm working my tibia muscles. So basically the front. So basically the way where you're raising your feet up. And while I'm working that, I'm really feeling that my calves are getting a bit more activation. They're growing, and I'm able to feel better my calves when I'm training them. All right, so we've covered most of the things. I would say for glutes, I'm enjoying doing a hip thrust. There's a hip thrust machine at my gym. I'm really enjoying it. And that's pretty much it. I want to talk a little bit about rear delts. I'm a big fan of doing standing bent over rear delts rows, all right? Doing them standing. It's really something that has been a game changer for me. Doing the machine pec deck reverse. I always felt it in my traps. I was squeezing my rhomboids too much because I was compensating. Didn't feel it much on my rear delts. But as soon as I started doing the bent over rear delt flies, I saw Danny Padilla, a giant killer from the old school era, was doing it back in the days in a book. I saw that and I'm like, you know what? This guy's shoulders are insane. I started doing it and gave me great results. That's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what are your top 10. Leave the comment down below. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for motivating me. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I'll see you guys soon. If you guys want coaching for all natural lifters, leave a comment and I'll reach out to you, or email me at info. Or you know what? Email me at Charif, CHARIF.SA, the number 3D@gmail.com. You know what? I'll leave it down in the description. It's gonna be easier for you. Watch others of my video. Thank you guys for being there, and see you soon. Ciao.